it's the dream. Speed and drama every turn on NFR, the rubber burns. Feel the thrill of every bend, where the champions transcend. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Like Fernando calls the play on NFR every race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Not Fernando calls the play on NFR at race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Deaf Queen, the top supporter scene, in the crowd where speed is keen. NFR, the place to be. Join the race, watch and see.
Folks, let me spin you a tale about a race car driver, George Russell by name. He's quick on the track, but don't get too excited, cause when it comes to greatness, well, he's not quite knighted. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fake. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. He's got the helmet, he's got the car, but when it comes to win, he's not quite up to par. He's got the look like Woody with a cowboy hat, but when he's in the pit, you'll see him shed a tear stack. Now don't get me wrong, he's got some skill, but when you're talking about the best, he's not in that mill. He'll race you hard, give you quite the fright, but in the end, he's more known for his tears at night. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run.
In the quiet lanes of Silverstone town, folks are whispering about a boy falling down. Got a seat from his daddy, money's the king. Driving that Williams ain't like riding free. Tires spin, engines roar, but the podium's far. His wheels hit the gravel, now there's damage to the car. Got the world at his feet, yet he fumbles the lead. His dreams race away, but he's not in the speed. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name that can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Now he's got his own team with a famous name. Aston Martin's the brand, but it's still the same shame. Every corner, every turn, the crashes unfold. Dreams wrapped in carbon fiber, truth left untold. Paddock folks shake their heads with a sigh as the green car spins and the hopes run dry. No matter the funds, it's a harsh game of pain. $1 million toys can't shelter the rain. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill.
Orlando, mate, you had it rough. Car so slow, it was barely enough. Chugging along at the back of the pack, fans yelling, mate, where's your pace at? Year after year, you'd smile through the pain, dreaming of glory, but stuck in the slow lane. Lando, Lando, what's the deal? Now your car's got wings, it's the real deal. Fastest on the grid in 2025, but Oscars in your mirrors, stealing your vibe. Oh, Lando, you're quick, but you're not alone. Oscar's got the keys to your McLaren throne. Now here comes 2025. McLaren's car is straight up alive. Lando's grinning, he's topping the charts, screaming, this beast's got 1 million parts. But wait a sec, who's that in the other seat? Some Aussie kid who's bringing the heat. Lando, Lando, what's the deal? Now your car's got wings, it's the real deal. Fastest on the grid in 2025, but Oscars in your mirrors, stealing your vibe. Oh, Lando, you're quick, but you're not alone. Oscar's got the keys to your McLaren throne. Oscar's new, but he's stealing the show, passing Lando like, mate, let's go. Lando's like, I waited years for this ride. Oscar shrugs, cool story, now step aside. Team radio crackles, Lando behave, but Oscar's too busy catching that wave. Poor Lando thought he'd rule the track, but Oscar's out there, no looking back. Fans love the kid with the cheeky grin. Lando's like, when's my parade gonna begin? Still their mates, they laugh, they jest. McLaren's got 2 and they're both the best. Lando, Lando, what's the deal? Now your car's got wings, it's the real deal. Fastest on the grid in 2025, but Oscar's in your mirrors, stealing your vibe. Oh, Lando, you're quick, but you're not alone. Oscar's throne. So here's to Lando, still chasing that crown, and Oscar the rookie who's shaking it down. Two fast mates in a papaya dream. McLaren's laughing, what a chaotic team. Oh, Lando, Oscar's got your number made.
Gather round, mates, for a tale that's a laugh about a racer named Jack took an F1 path. Aussie lad with guts, but he spun that ride, crashed his dreams. Now he's off to the side. Jack Gold Coast born with speed in his heart. Dad's a legend, gave him racing from the start. F4, F3, tearing up the scene. F2 king, living out his dream. Alpine shouted, Jack, you're our man. Gave him Ocon's seat, thought he'd lead the plan. But 25 roaring like a Roo gone wild. Jack's F1 hopes got wrecked in exile. Suzuka turn 1, pushing 8 and 5. Slammed that wall, car barely survived. Team radio buzz, Jack, you still there? He's stumbling out, dust in his hair. Oh, Jack ain't coming back, he's done, oi, mate. Crashed that car, sealed his F1 fate. 0 points, left skid marks on the track. Frank goes in, and Jack ain't coming back. Miami Grand Prix, thought he'd make a mark. Turn 1, lap 1, sent Liam Lawson to the dark. Penalty stacked, his license near shot. Speeding in the pits, finds hit the lot. Alpine's cash took a hit from a spree. Boss Ollie Oak said, Jack, you're killing me. Franco Colapinto with bucks and a smile. Snagged Jack's seat, sent him back in exile. Fans online are cackling, saying Jack's a bust. 6 races, no points made, you're eating dust. Oh, Jack ain't coming back, he's done, oi, mate. Crashed that car, sealed his F1 fate. 0 points, left skid marks on the track. Frank goes in, and Jack ain't coming back. Jack swore he'd push like a dingo on fire, but his car's in scraps and his dreams retired. Back to reserve, just a spare in the shed. F1 chewed him up, left his hopes for dead. Jack with a grin and a cheer. Your F1 run was a wild outback steer. Aussie battler, you gave it a crack, but them crashes prove Jack ain't coming back. Oi, mate. Oh, Jack ain't coming back, he's done, oi, mate. Crashed that car, sealed his F1 fate. 0 points, left skid marks on the track. Frank goes in, and Jack ain't coming back. He roared onto the scene, a rookie with a dream. McLaren's golden boy, fastest we'd ever seen. His first season was fire, left the vets in the dust. Won that championship in 08, man, that kid was a must. From Mercedes to the top, he was king of the track. Silver arrows in his hands, ain't no looking back. Oh, Lewis, you were flying, tires screaming in the sun, dominating every race, yeah, you won and won and won. But Abu Dhabi broke your heart, Mozzie's call still stings. Now you're chasing dreams in red, but your Ferrari ain't got wings. At Mercedes he was gold, stacking titles like a boss. Rosberg gave him headaches, but he still came across. Then Bottas rolled in,
just a sidekick in the race. Lewis mowed him down with that champion's poker face. But then came 21, Abu Dhabi's cruel twist. Mossy's name's in his nightmares, man, he's still so pissed. Lost that 8th world title, it haunts him to this day. Now he's singing sad old blues while Max just drives away. Oh, Lewis, you were flying, tires screaming in the sun, dominating every race. Yeah, you won and won and won, but Abu Dhabi broke your heart. Mozzie's call still stings. Now you're chasing dreams in red, but your Ferrari ain't got wings. He said, Ferrari's my mission, I'll bring 'em back to glory. But the Tifosi's waiting for a different kind of story. That red car's a clunker, it's sputtering and slow. Fans are whispering washed up, and it's starting to show. He's strutting in a Maranello, thought he'd rule the grid, but that Ferrari's like a mule, can't do what he did. The anticipation fizzle, now the critics all agree. Lewis, you're a legend, but your prime's history. Lewis, you were flying, tires screaming in the sun, dominating every race. Yeah, you won and won and won, but Abu Dhabi broke your heart. Mozzie's call still stings. Now you're chasing dreams in red, but your Ferrari ain't got wings. So here's to you, Sir Lewis, with your titles and your fame. You'll always be a hero, but this ain't your game. Trade that helmet for a Stetson, sing a country tune instead, 'cause your Ferrari's running on fumes and your racing days are dead.
Max the Maverick. He rolls to the grid, eye sharp as a blade. A storm in the cockpit, never afraid. Teammates tremble, they can't keep pace. Max takes the wheel, owns every race. From car to crown, he carved his way. A predator born to slay the day. The records fall, the doubters fade. A legend's forged, the price is paid. Max Verstappen, king of the fight, burning the track in the dead of night. Outruns the pack, leaves them behind. Fastest heart with a mastermind. Not the quickest car, but he still shines. Bends the rules, rewrites the lines. Max Verstappen, hear the roar. The champ who always begs for more. Are born, they tried their best, but Max just laughs, aces the test. He dances through corners, a devil's art, tears up the field, rips it apart. Red Bull's wings, they used to soar, now it's Max who evens the score. The car's not prime, the rivals grin, but he still finds a way to win. Max Verstappen, king of the fight, burning the track in the dead of night. Outruns the pack, leaves them behind. Fastest heart with a mastermind. Not the quickest car, but he still shines. Bends the rules, rewrites the lines. Max Verstappen, hear the roar. The champ who always begs for more. Monaco streets,
flash like a shooting star. The engines roar, the tires scream, fast as lightning, it's the dream. Speed and drama, every turn on NFR, the rubber burns. Feel the thrill of every bend, where the champions transcend. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Like Fernando calls the play on NFR every race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. And now Fernando calls the play on NFR at race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Deaf Queen, the top supporter scene in the crowd where speed is keen. NFR, the place to be. Join the race, watch and see.
Let me spin you a tale about a race car driver, George Russell by name. He's quick on the track, but don't get too excited, cause when it comes to greatness, well, he's not quite knighted. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. He's got the helmet, he's got the car, but when it comes to win, he's not quite up to par. He's got the look like Woody with a cowboy hat, but when he's in the pit, you'll see him shed a tear stat. Now don't get me wrong, he's got some skill, but when you're talking about the best, he's not in that mill. He'll race you hard, give you quite the fright, but in the end he's more known for his tears at night. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. Welcome back to NFR. Welcome back to SAFRL. Of course, it's a Monday night. It's just gone past 8 p.m. and we're getting ready to go. Of course, venue you'll all be familiar with if you were with us for SKR on Sunday evening, if you were driving in JPR on Friday night. It's all been Imola this weekend. And of course, that's where F1 was last weekend. Of course, we're following the F1 calendar where we can, so that means next week we're going off to Monaco. A lot of drivers getting out on track early on. It's a difficult race circuit to master. If you were part of that JPR race on Friday, or if you watched the SKR race on Sunday, they both had one thing in common: lots and lots of penalties in the field. And that's something the SAFRL drivers tonight will need to try and stay away from. We've seen those late safety cars, the multiple penalties being the deciders in races a few too many times this season. A lot of drivers out in the field, 19 drivers in the lobby. One of them has already appeared to retire, that is Jonas, one of the quicker drivers in the field. And Visor showing love as always for his favorite driver. That's the Harsh driver, Harsh Cartoon. No lap times just yet. That was Essa just emerging from the pits. This is Lord Cypher. So many quick names in the field. But we have seen drivers circulating Imola, doing lap after lap after lap and not getting a lap time. That's just the invalidated laps. And if you're getting them in qualifying, it doesn't bode well for the race. Of course, by now, by Tuesday night, this should be the most polished version of Imola. Guys will have raced it on Sunday. A lot of the guys do cross over between the two leagues. Harsh, ooh, I can't even say that. Harsh in a horse. Harsh in a horse. Harsh. Almost all the drivers out on circuit right now. We just got 2 drivers in the pits, everybody else out on circuit. Remember, just the one car retiring from the session, that was Jonas. Maybe looking to give himself a little bit of extra work in this race, give himself a challenge, or it's some sort of penalty we didn't know about. Lap times now starting to come in. Virus, Provisional Pole, Harsh Cartoon P2, Uno P3, then Sugar Bear and Skulk. Those are the 5 timed drivers so far. Lots of 15s there, 15-3, 15-7, 15-7. So far times are looking close, and we're still waiting for the big guns. So far Aston Martin 1-2, Virus and Skull. Wouldn't Aston Martin love it if things ended there? There are a lot of quick names yet to set their lap times. Still waiting for lap times from Wheeze. You know, Spikes can get it up there. Lebby can get it up there. And we're still waiting for a lap time from Essa. A lot of quick drivers in the field. But so far, it's an Aston Martin 1-2. Andre in P3. How many times have we seen those 2 drivers match each other so closely? Skull and Andre. P3, P4. Lap time has come in for Wheeze. One of the quicker names in the field, of course. Won the SKR Championship on Sunday evening, and he's leading the championship here in SAFRL. Well, I'm having a problem with speech today. SAFRL. Of course, there is your Drivers' Championship. Weeze leads the way, 183 points, but the gap isn't as big as we saw in SKR. A lot more of a challenge here, 183 to 152. Levy still on 122. And the Drivers' Championship far from over. As far as the Constructors' Championship goes, for Red Bull far out ahead, 238. McLaren in P2 with 154. And Alpine very much challenging for that runner-up on 142. Weeze currently on provisional pole, then we still have those Aston Martins in P2 and 3. Mink, he's been able to set a lap time up into P4, separating Skull and Andre. Andre down to P5. Harsh Cartoon, he'll be happy with that first run, 15.7, good enough for P6. Yuno in P7, then Sugar Bear, one of the loyal viewers of the channel. Few cars now in the pits getting ready for that second run. Remember, all the drivers, when they've got more in them, they know exactly where the mistake was on the previous run. It's all about sewing that lap together. Might have one or two messing around in the field, not setting their absolute best right till the very end. I love the theatrics of it all, but sometimes it can come back to bite you if you get that final run wrong. Levy still waiting for his first lap time. It's one of the two Alpines. Of course, next year Alpine will get rid of that Renault engine. Renault will have no real presence in F1 any longer. Besides the Alpine name, they'd have a presence pretty much like Aston Martin, in name only. That'll be an Alpine powered by Mercedes-Benz. The extra engine becoming available. Of course, that engine, the Aston Martin, they're taking the Honda engines. This is the Red Bull of Weeze. Currently on an outlap, looking to go and defend that initial run. This is Skull in P2. Then Spikes, told you he could get that car a lot higher up the field, and he's up into P3. Pantry Star P4. This is Virus. Will you look at that? My internet's starting to do fantastic things again. Apologies. This is my internet jumping up and down. My fiber provider did send me a message earlier today saying there is maintenance in the area and the connections are going to be inconsistent, so I do apologize. Of course, you can rewind the stream a couple of minutes and you're going to get a much smoother viewing experience. That is an Alpine off the circuit. Something seems pretty wrong with that car. It seemed almost stuck in first gear. So we still the quickest man out on track. Spike still in P2. Skull, he's returned to the pits without an improvement in position. Spikes and Pantry Star have since split the Aston Martins. Dispatcher in P7, Mink in P8. What are we going to do with this internet connection? We'll try and ride on board with the drivers as much as possible. When the connection's not that great, it seems to buffer a little less if you're on board. Connection comes back, we'll try and use the broadcast cam a little more. Got Osman there taking a shortcut through the gravel. Apologies, was just trying to see if there's anything I can do about this connection, but there's not much I can do about this connection. There's nothing else connected right now other than the stream. I'm going to stop the stream, and I'm going to try and restart the stream, see if that helps at all, because as I see it, this is worse than last night. So I'm just gonna mute, and I'll be back with you. Seems like the stream is back, but there's still no improvement on the internet. It's not the way I like to stream. Every time I look over at the YouTube, I can see it just buffering, going absolutely crazy. Fortunately, there's nothing I can do. The only thing I can say is rewind a couple of minutes. It's not the way you want to watch the live stream, but it's the only way you can get any sort of quality for your viewing experience tonight. So we are back. At least my voice is back. The quality's not any better. But I've just asked the question in the comment section, should I shut the stream down? It's up to you guys. I can't see what you see, but if the quality is too bad and you guys aren't able to watch, then maybe it's better to shut it down. So let me know in the comment section if you'd rather rewind a couple of minutes, or if you'd rather I shut things down for the night. But as things stand, looks like Wheeze will take pole. It's Spikes is currently on an outlap, as is Skull on an outlap. Levy a 114.7, good enough for P4 as things stand. Then you got Pantry Star in P5, Sugar Bear P6, Virus P7, Dispatcher P8, Mink P9, and Osman in P10. I'm going to mute one more time. I'm just going to restart the stream again. Apologies, just stay with the channel and we'll see if we can get this sorted out for the race. Just let me know if that is any better. We did reduce the quality. It's no longer 1080. Just let me know in the comment section if you can see it any better. Didn't see too much of qualifying because of all of those issues. So I'm waiting for those official results. There we go. Wheeze will take pole position. The only driver to get into the 13s, a 13.9. Then Spikes 14.5. That's the next best. Skull in P3. Levy in P4. Pantry Star P5. Iris P6. Sugar Bear P7. Andre P8. Mink P9. And Uno makes up the top 10. Bit of work to do for Dispatcher P11, Osman P12. Then we've got, well, I didn't get to the end there. Timer went a little quicker than expected. Of course, last night we had the League v League. It was a 5-minute break in between qualifying and the race. That rule does not apply to tonight. We should be going pretty soon. Of course, drivers have a few seconds really just to lock in their final strategies. Things like what tyre they want to start on, how deep into the race they intend to go. And of course, all of that strategy can come down to absolutely nothing if you get turn one completely wrong. So drivers will only look at that strategy as an idea of how they hope things will go, but often those strategies don't mean much. A safety car, everyone comes into the pits, and no one's on that original strategy anymore. Get the dual green lights. We are away for a formation lap. It's really a preparatory lap. Preparatory lap for that turn one. Need to get your tires up to temperature, get your brakes up to temperature. A lot of these parts on these F1 cars, they don't even work that well once they're up to, if they're not up to temperature. The brakes are pretty amazing on these cars, but if they're not up to temperature, they can be pretty useless. So it's not just about driving back to your grid spot. Can prepare that car. Some of the drivers will be doing more work on the wheels than others. There we go, Visor giving W's. Hopefully that means the connection is sorted out and it can hold until at least the end of the race. Of course, this is a circuit that could soon fall off the F1 calendar. Many say Italy shouldn't have the 2 Grand Prix. USA's got the excuse. It's a pretty big country. Was a Sauber going sideways there? Luckily for him, that's on the formation lap, so he'll be able to get away with it. And of Williams as well, just getting it wrong. As usual with F124, we don't get a very good view of the start. We're looking at the cars at the rear of the field for some reason. But we will see the red lights. They'll come on one by one, and when there's 5 of them, there'll be a pause. When they go off, we will go off. It's going to be Wheeze versus Spikes versus Skull versus Lebby into turn 1. Somebody going to be brave around the outside like we saw on Sunday afternoon. Nobody needs to be. Wheeze. It's got it covered. Into turn 1 P1, out of turn 1 P1. First objective of the race achieved. Spikes, he was second best in qualifying. He's been able to hold on to that position. Skull in P3, Lebby in P4, so everybody running line astern. No big changes at the start of the race. Nobody looking to take any unnecessary risks this early on. Wheeze leads the way from Spike. Skull in P3, then Lebby in P4, Pantry Star P5. Not much change at the front. Nobody making overtakes for now. We know that Imola isn't the easiest circuit on the calendar when it comes to overtakes. It's one of your more classical race circuits, means it's a little bit more narrow than what they would build today. These cars are a lot bigger than they were in the 80s and 90s, the heydays of this circuit. It makes overtaking quite difficult, just the one DRS zone. Visor, tell me about this conspiracy theory. I see there's a conspiracy theory floating around here in the comment section, but I don't know what it's all about. Visor says, Death Queen, do you believe me? Death Queen says, about the safety car. Visor says, yes. What is it? Tell me the conspiracy theory. What is it about the safety car? Has this got something to do with Flavio Briatore? Only in Formula 1 can the leader of Renault tell one of his drivers to crash on purpose, get an F1 life ban, have it overturned in the court, come back to F1 and lead that very same team under a different name. Alpine, Renault, it's all the same. Heck, at one stage it was called Lotus. Wheeze leads the way at the front from Spikes. Those gaps still very, very close together. We've still got a large DRS train. If you look at the DRS train, it's from P1 all the way down to P9. That's where you get your first 1 second barrier. That's between Uno and Osman, 2.6 seconds. But everyone at the front staying close for now. And with the speed of the man out front, it is crucial, absolutely crucial, to stay within DRS. The moment he breaks DRS, if he's able to translate that qualifying pace into race pace, he will simply disappear down the road if we don't get the intervention of multiple safety cars. Of course, Weeze also has that disadvantage, don't forget. Look at the tyres column, he's got a set of hard tyres on the car, which means he should have a little less grip than everyone around him. Doesn't seem to be affecting him much. He's out front, which means in the second stint of the race, he's the one that's going to have the medium. He's the one that's going to have the advantage. That is quite concerning. But this is what I mentioned. This is what I mentioned in qualifying. Not sure if you heard it in qualifying, but I was talking about the penalties. And even the best of them, can get penalties around Imola. Weeze has got that speed, but now he's just added a few weights to his shoulders. 3-second penalty goes next to his name. Any sort of late safety car, the man behind him doesn't pick up a penalty. You know what that means. Man we haven't paid too much attention to, but we probably should have. This is Jonas. He started at the rear of the field in P19. He's made up a lot of positions already. He's up into P11 and he's already challenging for P10, looking to get himself into the points. The only other driver in the field besides Weeze to go on the hard compound. Everybody else choosing the medium compound. Now Dispatcher becomes the second driver to join the penalties column. What a famous penalties column it is here in Imola. Keep on almost calling it San Marino. San Marino, the last San Marino Grand Prix was in 2006. And I still call this place San Marino. Even though it's about 20 minutes outside of San Marino. And it's actually in Italy. Visor saying driver of the day, Jonas. Well, if things continue this way, it would appear that way. Started in P19, he's already up into the points. It's only lap 5 of 32. And this is what it looks like when a driver's on an absolute mission. 4.7 seconds to the next driver, so he's going to have some clean air. He's been having to make overtakes for the first 5 laps of the race. Now he can have a clean track, go and chase that man in front of him. Gap 4.2 seconds. Let's keep our eyes on that gap, because once he gets there, the rest of the cars are relatively close together. Visor saying rain in 15 minutes, but it is Visor. Don't take him too seriously, but wouldn't that be great if the rain were to come at about the midpoint in this race? Really makes things interesting. I think Jonas would just prefer if the conditions stayed like this. 4.3 seconds to Uno, so he hasn't been closing that gap. Gap has sort of stayed consistent. Speaking of Uno, he becomes the third driver into the penalties column. What do you say about this driver here? Just a few seasons ago, he was a midfield driver. You could even say a lower midfield driver. And he got higher and higher up in that midfield. And now he's a constant podium contender. Skull in P2. Remember, this is on merit. This is not because of safety cars or weather or anything like that. Qualified up the field. And he's holding his own against Weeze. As I say that, Weeze has actually pulled up the road 2.6 seconds. This is Virus. Remember, in qualifying at one stage we had an Aston Martin 1-2. Gets the overtake done on Pantry Star. Let's get the overtake done on Levy. Gonna have to show a little bit of patience. Gap 2.6 seconds at the front. Remember now, this is Weeze at the front running away on a set of hard tyres. At this point in the race, it's only lap 7. That should be the slower compound. These mediums, they won't necessarily fall off a cliff, but they will start to pass their peak. Drivers will start to lose a tenth here and there as the car starts to squirm where it never used to. And then that's when the track will come to the hard runners one lap at a time. You'll see that gap at the front start to extend. And you'll see that gap between Jonas and Yuno starting to drop very quickly. One of the 2 RBs, and will you look at that, your race leader, your championship leader. I've said it about Imola, the penalties around this circuit are absolutely insane. If I'm not mistaken, on Sunday I think we only had 4 drivers, or was it 3 drivers outside of the penalties column. In fact, that race almost went in the direction of Andre in the closing laps. He was in P4 or 5 with no penalties. Everyone ahead of him had a penalty. But then, unfortunately for him, with 2 laps to go, he picked one up of his own. Neutralized the advantage he held. We're not riding with the leader because he's far out front. 3.5 seconds up the road, but he's given himself some extra work. That's the sort of thing you can do when you're that quick. Give yourself extra work. The gap is 3.3 seconds, but if the checkered flag were to fall now, Spikes would be your winner. Welcome to David. In the comment section, Visor saying it's going to rain. Well, not quite sure. There's definitely some dark clouds ahead, but there's definitely visible blue sky. So if there is rain coming, I don't think we're going to see it quite yet. Maybe towards the end of the race. Predicted lap 15. Well, it would take quite a violent change in the weather. Let me know in the comment section if I'm the only one that's noticed this, but in F124, does anyone find the track evolves a lot quicker in between weather conditions? Remember when the rain would come down and sometimes you'd spend 3 or 4 laps out on track not knowing when to go on to the Inter? These days it tends to happen a lot quicker. And just as the track can evolve extremely quickly, so can those clouds. So keep your eyes on them, but there you can see definitely some blue skies. Weeze, Skull, Spikes, Sugar Bear. Skull actually lost that P2 briefly to Spikes, but he's taken it back almost immediately. And while these two squabble over P2, well, it's letting Weeze get away with those extra penalties. Gap is 3.9 seconds. Skull would still be the victor of the race by 2 seconds. But of course, that's if he doesn't pick up any penalties of his own. And if he's able to keep Weeze in reach, and as we say that, we join Weeze as he goes off circuit. It's not something you see every day. Look at that, that cost him 1.3 seconds. Gap was 4 seconds, it's down to 2.7. And that was just an off-track moment, not something you see too often. He's not under any pressure. It's almost like he makes less mistakes when he is under pressure. That's what can happen sometimes when you're riding in clean air. There's no one in your mirrors. Sometimes the concentration can just lapse. Thoughts start to wander. But that mistake will surely wake him up if that was the case. Wheeze 3.4 seconds. That was a major mistake he made on the last lap, and look at that, he's almost pulled all of it back. The gap was 4, went down to 2.7, it's back up to 3.6. And well, those are the words of Visor. I've stolen that quote from Visor, I'm using it for myself. Every time a safety car comes out, that pops up in the comment section from Visor. Well. I said it just before the start of the race. Those strategies the drivers will have been working on. It all depends on what happens in the race, any sort of safety car. And all of a sudden, all of those strategies, you can throw them out the window. And it becomes a play it as you see it situation. So Wee's already up behind the safety car. He's already done a pit stop. He's already gotten rid of those hards, gone on to a set of mediums. It's only lap 12, so I'm not sure those mediums will be able to go to the end of the race. But of course, this could very well be not our only safety car. Only 4 drivers in the penalties column. It's a lot better than we've seen in previous days at this circuit. But probably the most crucial driver in the penalties column is the leader. And while it's not just a 3-second penalty, it's a 6-second penalty. So if safety cars were to come out really at regular intervals, every 10 laps or so, well then there's not much Weeze can do even with his pace to open up a 6-second gap over the field. Speaking of the potential driver of the day, Jonas started down in P19. It's now up into P6. Was that a multi-car retirement? You know, Mink, Essa, all retired from the session. And if that was a related incident, it was a big incident, because 3 cars gone from 19 to 16. And a safety car to neutralize things, or if you're Weeze, complicate things. Spikes, the driver in P2, he'll be appreciative of this situation. Of course, gap was getting bigger. It just allows him to rope that driver back in. And he'll know about the penalties up the road. Driver who held second for majority of the race, now in P3, just driving behind Skull. Of course, no overtaking. The only way you can make an overtake is if the driver up the road makes a mistake and goes off circuit. So then you are allowed to overtake. Other than that, even if he brake checks you, you shouldn't be that close. Having a look at the track map, it appears that all the cars have reformed a queue, and there we go, confirmation safety car will be in this lap. It's go here to the lead runners. This is Sugar Bear in P4, his McLaren teammate that started so far down the road. Now, not so far down the road. The McLaren split by just one driver, Virus in the Aston Martin. This is the view from the driver in P6. This will be perfect. Perfect for Jonas. He started at the rear of the field, made up a lot of ground, but sometimes what happens is you make up a lot of ground, and once you get to the top, there's not much you can do, because the guy up front, he's had clean air the whole time, and you're 10 seconds, 15 seconds behind. Of course, this gives him the free pit stop. It looks like he's trying to make an overtake straight away, is he? Jonas gets past Virus, and the McLarens are 4 and 5. Thank you, Nas. That's well, that's some useful information. Of course, I didn't know that. Apparently, he's broke his thumb at work this morning, so the fact that he's leading this race, and he's still leading this race, very impressive. Three-second penalty now going the way of Skull. He'll be disappointed with that. Wanted to stay out of the penalties column. Lord Cypher picks up another penalty. I'm pretty sure that's his second. Let's have a look at the... oh, that's the wrong thing. Let's look at the penalties column. 6 seconds for Lord Cypher. 6 seconds for Wheeze. And then Skull, Lebby, Pantry Star and Dispatcher. And Boinkies as well just added to the list. 3-second penalties. This is Jonas. Will you look at that? He's passed his teammate. How has he done that? From P19, one of the hardest circuits on the calendar for overtaking. He's up into P4 on lap 15. The race is almost at halfway distance. And he's in that lead pack, and he's in race contention because he's got no penalties next to his name. Out front, Wheeze leads the way, 3.3 seconds, Spikes in P2, crucially no penalties next to his name. He's able to keep things like that, and we do get a second safety car. Well, he could be very much in race contention. Skull now going for the overtake and gets the overtake, reclaims his second place. But not for long. Jonas with the double overtake. Skull goes for the overtake on Spikes. Jonas catches them both off guard, gets past both, goes up into P2. 3.3 seconds is the gap for the lead, and it's game on. Somebody's ghosting. Is that Spikes ghosting? I believe it is. Yes, it is. Spikes is ghosting. Unfortunately, Lord Cypher picks up a 3-second penalty. Somebody else picked up a 3-second penalty. I think it was Top Gun. Penalties coming in thick and fast now at halfway distance in this race. I've seen so much of this here at Imola. On this channel, you can basically go through the archive on this channel, pick any Imola race you can find, and you're going to see a very similar scenario regardless of the league. Penalties just so common around this circuit. And Wheeze, 16.5, quickest man on the race circuit. Jonas, 16.3, quickest man on the race circuit. As things stand, Jonas would be the victor in this race because of the penalty situation, but I assure you, he doesn't want to win the race that way. He wants to catch up to the Red Bull. He wants to overtake the Red Bull on merit and win it that way. It's the heart of a racer. Whether a real racer, whether a virtual racer, some things they do have in common. Dispatcher picks up a 3-second time penalty. Now 9 of the 16 drivers remaining in the field have penalties next to their name. Probably increase towards the end. I assure you a lot of them are on warnings, multiple warnings, probably on their final warning. The advantage Skull does have is that all the drivers he's really racing have the same penalty. He's in P3, Jonas up the road, 5.1 seconds. Looks like Weeze has actually reacted to seeing Jonas take P2. This is getting even quicker, the gap 5 seconds. Will you look at that? Skull comes back. Skull up into P2. I wonder if there was some sort of a mistake. Sugar Bear's fallen back, as has Virus. Virus down to P6. Big change in the order. But Skull, again, the man in P2. And Jonas, he'd rather be chasing after Weeze. But he's got his hands full with an Aston Martin. He's not going to let him have things his own way. But as things stand, probably the only candidate for driver of the day. Of course, we know how the game works it out. It works it out really purely on overtakes. If Jonas is able to bring this home, I think he's already got that award. Fortunately, no points for driver of the day, no points for pole position. The only points you get for finishing in the top 10. And of course, if you get that fastest lap while finishing in the top 10, you get the additional point. That rule will no longer stand in F125. Of course, the bonus point dropped after last year's controversial Danny Rick go get the fastest lap, make sure Norris can't get the bonus point situation with Red Bull. Just decided to drop the bonus point for the fastest lap. F1's ever changing rules. Tough to keep up. Weeze in P1 still leads the way. 5 seconds is the gap. That gap has been pretty stable. He hasn't been growing the gap regardless of the fact that he's on the mediums. He should be a little quicker. Jonas, I didn't expect this. I thought he'd get up into P2 and start chasing that Red Bull. But Skull kept him honest. In fact, made the overtake just a lap later. I don't think Jonas is close enough to attack, not this time round. He's going to have to sit and hold on to P3. Already 8 laps on those mediums. And if those mediums do start to fall off, well, Skull is actually in a very strong position here. So those medium runners, they're probably hoping for a second intervention in the form of a second safety car. I mean, another free pit stop. Come in and get a set of tyres that would take you to the end of the race. But what if that second safety car doesn't arrive? What if it doesn't rain? What if it's straightforward to the end? Top Gun, another 3-second penalty. It's time to bring up that penalties column, because I'm sure things look quite different since the last time we looked at it. 6 seconds apiece now for the leaders. P1, P2, 6 seconds. That's Weeze and Skull. 3 seconds for Sugar Bear, 6 seconds for Levy, 3 seconds for Pantry Star, then Dispatcher. Well, Dispatcher's making a collection out of it. 12 seconds. Spikes 3 seconds, Boinky's 3 seconds, Skulk 3 seconds. 6 seconds for Top Gun, and 12 seconds for Lord Cypher. front of the field is still Wheeze, still leading the way from Skull, 5.6 seconds. Fortunately for Skull, he's not going to benefit from those penalties next to Wheeze's name because he's gone and picked up the same amount of penalties. 6 seconds to the car in P1, 6 seconds to the car in P2. And as things stand, that would actually make Jonas the winner of this race. A reminder about the Drivers' Championship. Wheeze leads the way, 183 points. Second best is Jonas, 152. A victory here tonight would close that championship gap. Levy in P3 on 122. Those are really your main contenders for the championship. As far as the Constructors' Championship goes, Red Bull look very much in control, 238 points, 154 for McLaren. And they'd be getting a nice handful of points here tonight. Lord Cypher, 3-second penalty, that'll take him up to 15 now. Dispatcher out of the race. We missed that, but Dispatcher out of the race. We didn't even really see a yellow for that. Usually we see a yellow the moment somebody's driving a little bit too slowly or somebody gets anything on the grass. But a car has retired. Wonder if that car retired in the pits and that's why we didn't really see any notification of it. This is Wheeze. 3.8 seconds is the gap. Skull in P2, but he's not able to shake off the McLaren, and the McLaren knows exactly what it needs to do. 6 seconds for the two drivers ahead of him. If he's able to stay in touch, doesn't even need to make the overtake, can go on to win this race. Two McLarens running line astern, 3 and 4. Say line astern, but there's 3.9 seconds separating them, and Levy's about to change that. Levy up into P4. Let's have a look. Who is P4 in the championship? It's Spike. Skull P5 in the championship. Skull currently P2 in this race. Fantastic championship it's been so far. No absolute domination. And it's one that could go down to the final round. We're currently looking at Virus, driver in P4 in the championship we just mentioned. Pantry Star, Osman, Pfizer's favourite, Harsh Cartoon, will ride with the Haas driver, currently in P10, to take home that final point. But interestingly enough, no penalties next to the name of Harsh Cartoon. Might think, why do I keep making such a big deal about drivers without penalties when the driver's down in P10? Well, I've said it so many times, and it's happened so many times. A late safety car, no penalties next to your name. All of a sudden, podium contention, even victory contention. But ahead of him there are two drivers with no penalties. That is Osman in P8, and of course the top driver with no penalties, Jonas. Andre sets the fastest lap of the race at 1:16.1. Where is Andre? There he is in P15, 2 lap old mediums. That'll explain that. Sugar Bear, 3-second time penalty. No way I can keep track of these. 3-second time penalty for Lord Cypher. Goes up to 18 now. Sugar Bear up to 6. seriously going to hurt him in the race. Lap 25 of 32. I think it was last night. It was last night that we got a safety car with 3 laps remaining. Hopefully, at least the drivers in the front, at least the drivers with penalties next to their name, they will be hoping nothing like that happens this evening. Drivers that have kept it clean, well, they're hoping for their reward. Just one driver in the top 7, no penalties. That is Jonas. 3 seconds for Wheeze, 3 seconds for Skull, and another 3 seconds for Skull. I'm commentating on the penalties more than I'm commentating on the racing. And I'm trying not to look at my connection speed, but it is deeply concerning. Let's get through the next 6 laps. And hopefully by the time we return on Sunday, all of this is sorted out. Look at the gap between Wheeze and Skull. I think this is a situation of drivers were hoping maybe for that second safety car. Now they're having to extend those mediums a little bit further than what they would have liked. Maybe the track is coming now to the hard runners. Maybe Jonas and Wheeze will start to feel the effects of those mediums. Of course, now given the information I got in the comment section about Wheeze having an injured hand, can't say it's all about the mediums. Of course, as the race goes on, that hand will probably just get more and more sore. But he doesn't have much longer to push through. But the hand injury may explain the penalties, may explain that big mistake on the final corner into the gravel. But as any great sportsman, if it's possible to fight through the pain, you're not going to get them off the field, you're not going to get them out the cockpit. It's not the way that works. If you're at the front, you're at the front because of your competitive nature. And you're not going to drop out for any old thing. Even if any old thing is pretty serious. Harsh Cartoon, he has actually made up a position. The last time we checked on him, he was in P10, now up into P9. Means he's up to 2 points. Still no penalties next to his name. Even his teammate, Mr. No Penalties himself, Boinkies, has picked up a penalty on the evening. For a very, very, very long time. That's what I called Boinkies, Mr. No Penalties. He did it time and time again. Even when the entire field had penalties. 90% of the time. The man just wouldn't pick up penalties, but ever since the release of F124, I have seen him dip into those penalty columns a lot more often. And either that's the game has got a little stricter, or maybe he's just pushing a little harder. But when you've got a field this close, And you know how difficult it is to open up a gap, how difficult it is to open up a gap of 1 second. Every time you pick up that 3-second penalty, how much extra work have you just given yourself? Skull continuing to close the door on Wheeze. Close the gap rather on Wheeze. Gap was 2.2 seconds, then 2, now 1.5. And this is either the medium tires, or it's just that hand. Death Queen in the comment section saying, Aish Scully. Definitely what a drive on the night. 1.6 seconds is the gap. If he didn't have those penalties, he would be the provisional race leader. Currently in P2, 1.5 seconds adrift from the race lead. And I didn't see that last penalty, but he's picked up an additional 3-second time penalty. We've got a caution, lap 29 of 32, and surely not, it disappears. It disappears. Luckily for us, it's the start of lap 30, and I think we might have just got away with a safety car. Skulk picks up a 3-second time penalty. Apologies, Death Queen, I thought that was a Aish Scully in support. Rather, it was a Aish Scully, as in Aish Scully. At a stage in my life, I managed a kitchen. That's correct, I managed a kitchen with 75 staff. And that is a word I became very accustomed to. Aish. As well as Angazi, which means I don't know, and Aiku, which means there's none left. Those were the 3 most common phrases in the kitchen. Aish, Aiku, Angazi. Fortunately, it's been quite some time since that job, and I've lost a lot of my Zulu. I was pretty good at it at a time, but if you don't use it, it sort of slips away. Arch Cartoon still circling without any penalties next to his name. Very impressive drive, regardless of the fact that he's in P9. He's getting the basics right. He's able to find the speed and stick to those basics. Can only go up from here. Levy picks up a 3-second time penalty, and at this stage I'm not even counting them anymore. I'm going to let the game count it. I'm going to let the game work it out. There's no way my limited mathematical knowledge is going to be able to deal with all of these penalties. Lap 32 of 32. You've stayed with us through the lag, you've stayed with us through the technical difficulties. What can I say? Thank you. But we're almost through it. Lap 32 of 32. Bear with us for another 2 kilometers or so. And Wheeze, just car getting all squirmy on the exit. Skull getting really close. Remember, this would be a victory on track, not in the timesheets, because of those penalties. And Wheeze picks up a penalty. 3 seconds penalties. It's 9 seconds for the leader, 9 seconds for the man in P2. Jonas will go on to win this race if he can just keep the car pointing in the right direction. But Skull could challenge Wheeze on circuit for a position, but I think he's just running out of tarmac to do it. Another lap or so, and I think he could have passed him on merit. But of course, I think that's also got a lot to do with 20 lap old mediums. Wheeze does get to the line first, but he's not going to be able to hold on to the victory because Jonas takes that away. Didn't pick up any penalties, did the basics right, takes the victory. Wheeze P2. It's a reverse of the championship order. The man in P2, he takes the victory. The man leading the championship, he finishes runner-up. Skull, what a drive. What can be said? What a drive. Finishes in P3. And if he didn't have those 9 seconds worth of penalties, well, this would be stamped, sealed, and delivered. Fantastic evening for the two Aston Martins, 3 and 4. Pantry Star P5, Sugar Bear P6, Lebby P7, Osman P8. Harsh Cartoon did bring home some points, 2 points for P9, and his teammate got P10, so 3 points on the night for Haas. Gonna wait for the driver of the day. And who else could it be? Jonas takes driver of the day from P19 to P1. And he's still got energy for a little dance. So there are your final results. Jonas takes the victory from Wheeze. That'll bring the championship a little bit closer. Then Skull P3, fantastic drive from him. Virus P4, Pantry Star P5. Got Sugar Bear in P6, Lebby P7, Osman P8, Harsh Cartoon P9, and Boinkies takes home the final point. No bonus point on the night because the fastest lap went to a driver outside the top 10. That was Andre in P12, just up the road from him. Spikes P11, Skulk 13, Lord Cypher 15, and then a DNF column that involves 4 drivers: Dispatcher, Uno, Mink, and Essa. Well, folks, that was season 11, round 10 of SAFRL at Imola. It was a interesting race. For me, it was a bit of an annoying race because I kept on looking at my internet connection, and what's even more annoying is the problem has gone away. We're back up to normal internet speed, so isn't that ironic? I want to thank everybody who joined us for the stream. A lot of you were in here even before the stream got going. So thank you to all of you. Thank you for staying with the stream, even when it went down twice, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, the channel now goes on a bit of a break. We do return on Sunday. That'll be Sunday afternoon at 6. And next weekend, remember, I said we follow the in-life calendar where possible. F1, they're going to Monte Carlo next week. That means NFR is going to Monte Carlo next week. We're going to have SKR Sunday, 6 p.m. Monaco, SAFRL Tuesday, 8 p.m. Monaco yet again. So I'd tell all the drivers to get out on track and start practicing. It's one of the tracks that even if you usually show up and don't do much practice, well, this is one you might want to practice for. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Thank you to everyone who joined. I'm going to say goodbye. I will see you all on Sunday. And until then, cheers.
Keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill.
Fans yelling, mate, where's your pace at? Year after year, you'd smile through the pain, dreaming of glory, but stuck in the slow lane. Lando, Lando, what's the deal? Now your car's got wings, it's the real deal. Fastest on the grid in 2025, but Oscars in your mirrors, stealing your vibe. Oh, Lando, you're quick, but you're not alone. Oscar's got the keys to your McLaren throne. Now here comes 2025. McLaren's car is straight up alive. Lando's grinning, he's topping the charts, screaming, this beast's got a million parts. But wait a sec, who's that in the other seat? Some Aussie kid who's bringing the heat. Lando, Lando, what's the deal? Now your car's got wings, it's the real deal. Fastest on the grid in 2025, but Oscars in your mirrors, stealing your vibe. Oh, Lando, you're quick, but you're not alone. Oscar's got the keys to your McLaren throne. Oscar's new buddy stealing the show, passing Lando like, mate, let's go. Lando's like, I waited years for this ride. Oscar shrugs, cool story, now step aside. Team radio crackles, Lando behave, but Oscar's too busy catching that wave. Poor Lando thought he'd rule the track, but Oscar's out there, no looking back. Fans love the kid with the cheeky grin. Lando's like, when's my parade gonna begin? Still their mates, they laugh, they jest. McLaren's got two and they're both the best. Lando, Lando, what's the deal? Now your car's got wings, it's the real deal. Fastest on the grid in 2025, but Oscar's in your mirrors, stealing your vibe. Oh, Lando, you're quick, but you're not alone. Oscar's got the keys to your McLaren throne. So here's to Lando, still chasing that crown, and Oscar the rookie who's shaking it down. Two fast mates in a papaya dream. McLaren's laughing, what a chaotic team. Oh, Lando, Oscar's got your number made. Gather round, mates, for a tale that's a laugh about a racer named Jack took an F1 path. Aussie lad with guts, but he spun that ride, crashed his dreams, now he's off to the side. Jack Gold Coast born with speed in his heart, Dad's a legend, gave him racing from the start. F4, F3, tearing up the scene. F2 king, living out his dream. Alpine shouted, Jack, you're our man. Gave him Ocon's seat, thought he'd lead the plan. But 25 roaring like a Roo gone wild. Jack's F1 hopes got wrecked in exile. Suzuka turn 1, pushing 8 and 5. Slammed that wall, car barely survived. Team radio buzz, Jack, you still there? He's stumbling out, dust in his hair. Oh, Jack ain't coming back, he's done away, mate. Crashed that car, sealed his F1 fate. 0 points, left skid marks on the track. Frank goes in, and Jack ain't coming back. Miami Grand Prix, thought he'd make a mark. Turn 1, lap 1, sent Liam Lawson to the dark. Penalty stacked, his license near shot. Speeding in the pits, fines hit the lot. Alpine's cash took a hit from a spree. Boss Ollie Oak said, Jack, you're killing me. Franco Colapinto with bucks and a smile. Snagged Jack's seat, sent him back in exile. Fans online are cackling, saying Jack's a bust. 6 races, no points, mate, you're eating dust. Oh, Jack ain't coming back, he's done away, mate. Crashed that car, sealed his F1 fate. 0 points, left skid marks on the track. Frank goes in, and Jack ain't coming back. Jack swore he'd push like a dingo on fire, but his car's in scraps and his dreams retired. Back to reserve, just a spare in the shed. F1 chewed him up, left his hopes for dead. Here's to Jack with a grin and a cheer. Your F1 run was a wild outback steer. Aussie battler, you gave it a crack, but them crashes prove Jack ain't coming back. Oi, mate. Oh, Jack ain't coming back. He's done, oi, mate. Crashed that car, sealed his F1 fate. 0 points, left skid marks on the track. Frank goes in, and Jack ain't coming back. Oi, mate.
He roared onto the scene, a rookie with a dream. McLaren's golden boy, fastest we'd ever seen. His first season was fire, left the vets in the dust. Won that championship in '08, man, that kid was a must. From Mercedes to the top, he was king of the track. Silver arrows in his hands, ain't no looking back. Oh, Lewis, you were flying, tires screaming in the sun, dominating every race. Yeah, you won and won and won, but Abu Dhabi broke your heart. Mozzie's call still stings. Now you're chasing dreams in red, but your Ferrari ain't got wings. At Mercedes he was gold, stacking titles like a boss. Rosberg gave him headaches, but he still came across. Then Bottas rolled in, just a sidekick in the race. Lewis mowed him down with that champion's poker face. But then came 21, Abu Dhabi's cruel twist. Mossie's name's in his nightmares, man, he's still so pissed. Lost that 8th world title, it haunts him to this day. Now he's singing sad old blues, while Max just drives away. Oh, Lewis, you were flying, tires screaming in the sun, dominating every race. Yeah, you won and won and won, but Abu Dhabi broke your heart. Mozzie's call still stings. Now you're chasing dreams in red, but your Ferrari ain't got wings. He said, Ferrari's my mission, I'll bring them back to glory. But the Tifosi's waiting for a different kind of story. That red car's a clunker, it's sputtering and slow. Fans are whispering washed up, and it's starting to show. He strutted into Maranello, thought he'd rule the grid, but that Ferrari's like a mule, can't do what he did. The anticipation fizzle, now the critics all agree. Lewis, you're a legend, but your prime's history. Lewis, you were flying, tires screaming in the sun, dominating every race. Yeah, you won and won and won, but Abu Dhabi broke your heart. Mozzie's call still stings. Now you're chasing dreams in red, but your Ferrari ain't got wings. So here's to you, Sir Lewis, with your titles and your fame. You'll always be a hero, but this ain't your game.
Trade that helmet for a Stetson, sing a country tune instead. 'Cause your Ferrari's running on fumes and your racing days are dead.